Hello, welcome back to my channel. I got a real quick little video for you today since this is a project I have been referring to for a couple videos and I need to finally film this and empty this basket because I need it for something else. So this is my list of Amnesia reads. Previously I was referring to these as like my reread to unhaul list. These are books that I know that I have read, that I own, but I really don't remember anything about them. I either don't remember whether I liked them, therefore do I want to keep them, or I just don't remember anything about them. And what I want for my shelves is, for every book that I keep, I want to be able to talk about why I keep it. Why do I find it interesting? Why do I love the story? Why do I love the writing? Whatever. So this is not by no means a comprehensive list. I have over 400 read books on my bookshelves, and it's, you know, for many of them it's been like over a decade since I've read them, so I can only remember them to varying degrees. But these are like the priority. These are like the top ones skimming my shelves where I'm like, yeah, I really don't remember anything about that one. I should prioritize it. All right, let's get into it. So the first book I have is Anansi Boys by Neil Gaiman. I've read a couple of things by Neil Gaiman. Sandman series, I've read the first couple. I remember really liking American Gods. So then I think that's when I picked up this one, and I don't remember anything about it. So, there we go. Okay, next I have The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck. I read East of Eden in my high school AP literature class, and I really liked that one. And I think that one I really liked because I was able to study it, so we were really able to get into the themes and the symbolism and the character development and everything, and I came away with a great appreciation for it. And then this is maybe like Steinbeck's other most famous work, and I know that I've read it. I remember some like vague overarching plot stuff, but I really don't remember my thoughts about it, especially in comparison to East of Eden. Okay, then we've got Georges by Alexandre Dumas. I know I really loved The Three Musketeers, and I think I've read The Count of Monte Cristo and liked it. I really don't remember that one, but I don't own that one. So this one, it deals with a slave uprising on a Caribbean island. So like, I think I picked this up way back when I had learned that Alexandre Dumas was not white. So I thought, oh, especially for the time period, you know, a non-white author writing about a slave uprising, you know, that must be super interesting. So I know that I read it. I don't remember anything about it. It's just been too long. So I am interested to revisit this world. Okay. The next one is actually, might be like the one that I've read the most recently. This is the Test of Wills by Charles Todd. I think I only got this for Christmas like 2 years ago. Charles Todd is a mother-son writing team pseudonym. And this is the first Inspector Ian Rutledge mystery. Yeah, so this is a historical fiction mystery. The protagonist is dealing with PTSD from World War I. But I think I just like read this so fast and I was dealing with a lot of like undiagnosed depression, so I don't really remember it. So I should revisit it. Okay. Then we have Butterfly Boy, Memories of a Chicano Mariposa by Rigoberto Gonzalez. This is a memoir. This is not fiction. It has been living on my fiction shelf, and that is incorrect. Yeah, this is, for some of the other books I've talked about in this same project, this came from the same source of, I was taking a Chicano literature class and I got the wrong syllabus, so I bought, you know, like half a dozen books that we ended up not reading for the class, but I ended up keeping them and reading them. So I think this one is like also like a queer memoir, I think is what I remember, but like that's the sum total of what I remember. So I need to reread it. Okay, so this is one that I'm gonna hopefully reread this month. This is Haroun and the Sea of Stories by Salman Rushdie. He is most famous for like the Satanic Verses and I know, like the Moor/Sai. He is an Indian British or Indian American. Hold on. Salman Rushdie, born in Bombay. I think he doesn't live there anymore. I am unprepared. But, you know, he writes in English. His works are not translated. He mostly writes like magical realism or speculative fiction that takes place in India and deals with Indian cultural themes or historical events in India, and most of his adult books. But this is his YA novel. I think someone mentioned it's middle grade. I don't remember if it's middle grade. But it is about a young boy, Haroon, who travels. Something is happening to the Sea of Stories, and he travels into that world to figure out what is happening. So this is going to be one of my picks for the Asian readathon, which hopefully I will film that video today as well. Anyway, so this one is probably the only one I'm going to get to this month from this project. But I have a couple of his works and I need to reread all of them, but I want to prioritize this one. We've got one poetry book. This is Emplumada by Lorna de Cervantes. Again, this also came from that Chicano literature syllabus. Don't remember anything about it. I need to stop saying that because that is true for all of these books. Okay, we got some nonfiction. We've got Wheeling and Dealing by Patricia A. Adler. This is an ethnography of an upper-level drug dealing and smuggling community. And then, so this one and this one, this is Global Human Smuggling by David Kyle and Ray Koloski, or edited by Global Human Smuggling, edited by David Kyle and Ray Koslowski. So both of these books came from a college course that I think it was like a sociological study of like global smuggling and drug trade and dealing with like border disputes and stuff. And I think I remember actually finally reading these because like we bought them for the class and then like we didn't ever read anything from them. That class was interesting not necessarily because of the content. But I remember reading them and thinking they were interesting, but now I'm like, I need to revisit that and see if I really want to keep them. Okay, I've got Reading Lolita in Tehran, a memoir in books by Azar Nafisi. I picked this up on recommendation from an instructor and read it. Don't remember it. Then we've got Under the Black Flag, The Romance and the Reality of Life Among the Pirates by David Cordingley. I've definitely gone in and out of being really interested in, I'm always interested in pirates, but I definitely went through a pirate phase. Mostly because I was cast in a play where I was cast in a play about pirates and I got to learn stage sword fighting, and so I was really into pirates that summer. So it's just been a really long time since I've read this and I would like to revisit it. Alright, now I've got my YA. So I've got Anne of Green Gables. I remember the first one very well. But I don't remember really anything about book 2 and 3, so I'm going to reread them at least to book 2, because I feel like as Anne grows older, the tone of the stories very much change, so I want to judge whether I want to keep this whole box set or get rid of the box set, and if I really want to acquire a different copy of just Anne of Green Gables. I've got a couple of Diana Wynne Jones. This is the first in her Dalemark quartet. This is Cart and Quitter. I remember really liking the series. I mostly remember the last book. I don't remember the first 3 books, randomly. And then I've got The Homeward Bounders by Diana Wynne Jones. And I have like 1 or 2 other books of hers that I need to reread all of them. But these ones are my priority. Similar, I need to reread all the books I own of the Redwall series by Brian Jacques. This is the first I don't remember if this is it's not the first book chronologically, I think. But I think but yes, it's the first in the series. It says, "The legend begins." But I remember really liking this series. I remember it was, like, I owned 6 of the books, but it was one of the series where whenever I found a new book at the library of the series that I hadn't read, I would borrow it. So I've probably read a couple dozen of books in the series. I have no idea how many books are in the series in total. But I really don't remember my feelings about them. I feel like after a while it was a lot of like the same story over and over again. So I need to revisit them, and because they take up a lot of room on my shelves. And like, I remember they were good. There's something that I would love to pass on to someone else if they don't really still resonate with me. So there's that. I've got City of the Beasts by Isabel Allende. I have this and the second book. And I really don't remember anything about them. So, broken record. Here we go. This was actually another fairly recent read that I don't really remember my thoughts about it. This is Pagan's Crusade by Katherine Jenks. This is a historical fiction that deals with the Crusades. I remember someone I was working with mentioned really liking the series. I found a secondhand copy, and I read it, and it didn't. The story fell right out of my head. So, there we go. Then we've got Love, Stargirl by Jerry Spinelli. This is the sequel to Stargirl. Stargirl is one of my favorite books from my childhood ever. You will take that book from my cold dead hands. But I remember reading this, and again, did not retain the story. So, gotta revisit it and see if I want to keep it. And then I've got Leviathan by Scott Westerfield. I have the first 2 books in this series, and I need to reread it to be like, do I want to bother acquiring and reading the 3rd one, or is this a middle grade steampunk series that it will serve better to be passed on? Okay, great, that's it. Again, like, once I get mostly through these books, this will take a while. Because when I've gotten through these books, or when I've decided whether or not to just unhaul them rather than reading them, I will pull another couple dozen books. I'll pull another dozen or so books from my shelves and probably do another one of these videos. Who knows how long it'll take me to get through them, because sometimes I'm like, I'll read like 1 a month, and sometimes I'll read like 6 of them a month. It just kind of depends on how my reading goes. In future videos, if you hear me talking about an Amnesia read, here's kind of a video dedicated to that idea. Okay, that's it. I hope you have a good rest of your day. I encourage you to go out into the world and be curious. I will have my social media links in the description box below if you would like to connect with me elsewhere. I do not know if this is coming out before or after my Asian Readathon TBR video. If it's after, keep an eye out for that. Yeah, I'll catch y'all in my next video. Bye!